So on Sunday, our white supremacist dictator hosted a big UFC fight in front of the White House to celebrate his 80th birthday and the 250th anniversary of America, so he could promote toxic masculinity to impress his Nazi supporters. We had a bunch of immoral, mediocre white men beating each other up for no reason other than to entertain Trump's whole Nazi regime. There was never anything to celebrate in the first place. This country is so immoral, and we embrace toxic masculinity, corporate corruption, and government control. That's basically what America is all about now. This whole event was funded by a bunch of corporate sponsors like Paramount Plus, Monster Energy Drink, Dodge Ram, and all these UFC fighters made millions of dollars to be in this event. And then some of these Nazis that attended the event to watch paid $1.5 million for VIP tickets to attend it. This nation is so antichrist, I can't even comprehend it. We have people rotting in concentration camps. We have people who can't even afford living expenses and who have lost health coverage, yet this whole Nazi regime had to have this big celebration and spend millions of dollars on it. It just shows how much America lacks morality. And all these rich white elites that attended this event just wanted to feel manly and popular, so they joined in with the Nazi regime for the big celebration. Because for these rich white people that have rich white privilege, none of this affects them. None of the cruelty of our fascist government has affected them because they got wealth to keep them living in luxury. Take, for example, Mark Zuckerberg, one of the big tech oligarchs. Would he have gone to that event to celebrate if his mom or daughter was raped by Jeffrey Epstein or Donald Trump? If his daughter was one of the 170 girls blown up into school in Iran under Trump, would he have went to celebrate at that event? Would he still have been there if he had immigrant relatives who are rotting in taxpayer-funded concentration camps across the U.S. right now? If one of his relatives were Renee Good or Alex Preddy, who were murdered by taxpayer-funded Nazi ICE agents in Minneapolis by just trying to defend their vulnerable neighbors, would he have still went there to celebrate this fascist country? Of course not. But I seen him in a picture standing behind a rapist white supremacist dictator so he can gain popularity and be one of the elites. And that's a problem with this country. We got a bunch of rich white conservatives who, as long as they can live in luxury and not experience the negative effects of government control like everyone else does, they're not going to care, and they're not going to even dare criticize our government or Trump, because they don't suffer from the corporate corruption and the government corruption like everyone else does. No matter how cruel it is, they don't care because they got rich white privilege to keep them living in luxury and to keep them safe. And it just disturbs me that that's the mentality of this Republican cult. And then you had one of the fighters, Josh Hokett, who was claiming he's a big Christian, saying that Jesus is a savior, right after beating up a fellow human being and then calling Michelle Obama a man. He is just another antichrist who's part of this white Christian nationalist crap and embracing toxic masculinity and just another mediocre white man. Just like everyone else who attended this event as antichrist. And they want to promote the toxic masculinity, white supremacy, and the government control in America, so they can continue to live in luxury, demonize everyone else, and be popular as part of the elites. And it just makes me so disturbed. It makes me embarrassed to be an American. This country is so greedy and lacks morality so much. It just makes me wish I was born in another country almost. And it's frustrating when we're helpless and we have to deal with this. And no one's stopping them. If these rich white elites and the fighters at this event had any morality or concern for human rights whatsoever? Instead of being at this big celebration, every single one of them should have been at Delaney Hall concentration camp or any of the other concentration camps across the country, protesting, demanding that they're liberated. That's what a true, good patriot and human being would be doing, instead of celebrating Trump's 80th birthday and celebrating this fascist nation. But they don't care, because none of this affects them. They're a bunch of elites living in luxury, and all the Republican cult and the conservatives have money and wealth as well, so they don't care and they won't criticize the government. So it needs to be us that stop this. We the people who are fed up with this crap need to become true patriots and go on a nationwide strike. That means quitting our jobs, embracing minimalism, to stop funding the big corporations and our government via tax revenue. We need to shut this whole country down to show these elites that we've had enough and this has to stop. That's the only way we're going to fight this. If we continue to play by the rules and allow our government to do whatever they want, then it's only going to escalate into more and more of a dictatorship. The longer we wait, the worse it's going to get. We better stop this now before it's too late. Mass strike now.